Just gonna get in here and fix the camera right up next to you. Just need to get me in focus for the shot, but like it's kind of really awkward at this range because it's a fixed camera lens and I don't really know the ranging for it, so I just gotta kind of get it right here. So sorry if the lighting's a little bit off. You doing something different with your hair? Sorry if the lighting's a little bit off. I just can't really get it. Sorry, I'm real close to you. Hey, I'll just one more second just to get this right in frame. Thank you. All right, yeah, good. Thanks.
Tekken 8. I love Tekken. I love Tekken more than anything, to be honest. Like, I remember back when I was a kid and I used to just pretend I went to school and stay home and play Tekken tag all day with my friends. I never had any friends, that's a complete lie, but I did stay at home to play Tekken, and much like a crackhead with a deck of playing cards, in this Tekken, I'm not really sure of the rules, or if I'm even playing the same game. I burped, I shouldn't do it into the microphone. In Tekken 8, I'm like a crackhead with a deck of playing cards. I'm not even sure of the rules anymore, or if I'm even playing the same game, but I'll tell you one thing. Right now. I'm having fun.
Look at him. Such a young man. So ready and desperate to leave a skid mark on the underwear of Harada's golden boy. Alas! After filming 3 hours of some absolutely fire content, he goes back and he looks at the content and he realizes. And I realised something about Tekken 8 that I've never realised before upon going back and watching so much of this content where I was just slaying. And it's, the game kind of sucks. Now listen. I love Tekken, right? I've loved Tekken my whole life. I was there for the days of Gon. I was there for the fever dream that was Alex versus Roger, right? That incredible beef that amounted to next to nothing. I was there for it all and I loved every second of it. I was there back in the day of when your older brother used to unplug the second controller and claim it wasn't cheating because you started winning. It was just he was moving and it slipped out. But this is not Tekken. Hear me out now, listen. I'm not even talking about the microtransactions. I got no problem with microtransactions as long as they're looking a little bit good. Yeah, I'm not fussed. I like it when my characters look good. I like to show some flair in some Tekken. You know what I mean? Like I use Asuka, right? I main Asuka. Which means I don't got nothing else except how I look. That is it. That is where she starts and stops. You can't nerf her drip. I'm not even talking about the people that plug. I don't mind getting plugged on. It is way better of a dopamine hit for me to get plugged on, because then I know I've upset you. That is it. That is my goal. I don't care if I reach purple ranks, red ranks, blue ranks. I don't care what rank I am. If you plug on me, ooh, my dopamine receptors start frying. I start getting adrenaline, and all of a sudden I start getting the Joe Biden speeches. Get your ass back up there, boy. Yee. Bro, you were gun Ryu plugging first match! Let's go, baby! Woo! Get fucking shit on! Fuck! It had to be a pull! It had to be a pull! Of course, baby! God! Fuck! Woo! That man woke up and put on toilet paper for clothing today. I just shit all over him. Good heavens. Seems to be the same. GG, Florang. GG, bro. Now, alas, I'm talking about the gameplay. Yay, 'twas 2018. The dame of our selection was Tekken 7. Little Margine at the Evo. Made it to winners finals. He had beaten the likes of people like JDCR just to get there. An incredible scene as this man used a wrestler to suplex the gods of Tekken into submission. It was incredible. It was one of the most unique displays of gameplay I have seen since JDCR back in 2014 when he won the whole thing in Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Incredible scenes you see like this, where you could basically get rid of the health bar and the name and everything else and just have the visuals in play, and you would be able to spot who is playing that just with the unique style of gameplay that they play with. You know, nobody else used King. All of a sudden you've got a dude who's doing Jaguar steps and hitting a burning knuckle straight over the top of Geese Howard's fucking thing.
Look at this race. Majin is in the red right now. Oh, muscle buster, nice break. Capital punishment over the Replucan to the wall.
I was harder than arithmetic watching these people play when I was younger.
But in Tekken 8, that kind of goes away. And that's the part that I miss. That aroma of the unique stench of players understanding each other and going backwards and forwards in these incredibly unique play styles, and all of a sudden one character would just get the upper hand with a launcher, and sure, half his health bar went away, but hey, it looked really cool, and it was a different style of switch up from gameplay of very, very slow versus very, very fast, and these unique tacticians that were somewhere in the middle like Hilo or Pokchop. Hey, whatever your opinion is about Pokchop, he'd smash you and me in Tekken. That's all I'm saying. I don't like the guy, but I understand when someone's better than me at something. So upon going back and revisiting the 3 or 4 hours of content I shot, I realised all Tekken 8 matches play out the same. Regardless of who I'm playing, I've played people as high as purple ranks and people as low as first dans. And all of a sudden, I realised that it's quite literally just a base whiff punish, followed in by a heat engage up, followed in by some sort of 50-50 heat switch up, followed in by some sort of, heat disengage, whether it be the dashing one or just the basic right bumper combo. And then normally you're just down into one whiff punish combo, or you're just in an area where if your opponent's low enough they can rage art. And depending on who you're using or versing, whether it be somebody like Nina Williams, who has quite a snappy, very visually cool looking one, or somebody like Feng, who can just panic bash that and you're basically in a casino now. It's a 50-50 gamble on whether you're walking out of there. I just realised that all of these matches are the same, so I went on to YouTube and I started to watch some of the people I regularly watch, K-Swiss, JDCR, Little Margine, and all of the matches kind of feel and look very much the same, and I hate that. That was the one thing that separated Street Fighter from Tekken for me. I used to play a lot of Street Fighter when I was a kid, so I went back and, I looked at it, and this is kind of just if somebody who worked at Street Fighter got the chance to create a Tekken. There is so many animations in this game, it feels like SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, except it doesn't have that bump and music. I'm going to issue you a challenge. Tell me a match that didn't follow roughly this order, right? A power crush, a heat engager, a whiff combo, your major heat move, and then just a juggle punish. That's it. Just those things back to back to back. I challenge you to think of your last 3 set rounds that didn't basically try to follow that structure. Because that is the only structure I'm really getting or seeing, and whether you like it or hate it, I kind of just find it extremely stale and boring that regardless of who you select, whether they be overpowered or A tier, or they're just sort of down there in the regular people class, I hate the fact that that's now what Tekken is. There is no discrepancy between a person who has just picked up the game or somebody who has played it for years. There's almost no other way to play if you want to win. You can't just defend in Tekken, which is one of the parts that I love. You need to press buttons to achieve something. But now it's just press buttons and you'll probably walk out the victor. There's just not much to it. Even at the higher level, the only difference between somebody who plays at a high level and somebody who doesn't is how they whiff punish you.
She 180'd for that hit, by the way. She 180'd for that. If this can ever be a clause to remove this shit...
Now listen, newcomers, this isn't a shot at any of you. I want you to understand, I want nothing more than the actual community of Tekken to enjoy Tekken. It's why I don't go to the Tekken subreddit anymore, because that is a cesspool of hatred and negativity, and I don't think the world needs that, especially the fighting game community. There's enough in it already. But you guys won't ever know what it was like before you had all of these things that could just sort of break you out of the immersion of the game and the situation you've got yourself in. If your back's against the wall in Tekken and you're using Fang, just heat engage. You're fine. You'll probably be out of the wall, and now you can cause damage, right? Picture in Tekken 5 where your back was against the wall, and that was it actually. You just had your back against the wall. You had to find your way out. Nothing was more adrenaline-filled and heart-wrenching than when you actually started to counterattack and push your way back, right? That was insane. It was one of the best feelings when you were in a predicament and you got yourself out of there. Not because of some mechanic that's built into the game to kind of give you a chance to fight back against somebody pressuring you. It was because you labbed something and now it's paying off. And all of a sudden your dopamine receptors are fried. You think you're high smoking weed, my brain's still in the oven on 480 degrees. I remember that feeling, and it's just like overcoming a mountain. All of a sudden you're hitting this combo that you didn't know you could do before, and it's such an insane feeling. Like, newcomers won't really realize, back in the old days of Tekken, there was no grappling assist, right? You either did it or you didn't. There was no payoff for a half try, and it was one of my favorite things about Tekken. You could not half-ass anything, you had to whole-ass everything, and it was a slog. I still remember the very first time I ever hit a rolling death cradle, right? I don't main king. I never main king. My brother made king. I hit a rolling death cradle on my brother, which caused him to turn the console off. It was just such an insane feeling to actually lab something, be able to pull it off, and know there was no assist, right? It was such an incredible dopamine rush to know that you're doing something right. You have gotten better. It's not a matter of maybe your opponent slipped up, you got better. But nowadays, you can just kind of hotkey all the big moves that you want, slide your way around it, grappling assist. And I honestly think those are why the Tekken player base has started to drop off quite quickly. I don't know if you all have seen the statistics, but it went from about 40,000 players on Steam to 17,000 in like 2 months. I don't think the problem's microtransactions. I don't think the problem's the whole balancing thing. I think the game's just incredibly stale. They forfeited creativity and needing to adapt to gameplay, and kind of just stuck you on a very narrow aggression wins, chip damage, chip healing kind of gameplay, and honestly I don't think Tekken was ever about that. I definitely think Tekken was your dopamine rush for doing something great, doing something incredible, and there was nothing more badass than watching a dude pull off a combo that you didn't even know existed. Nowadays everything kind of just exists because everything can be carried thanks to engagements and rage arts and all of these other animations that make a 60-second match take nearly 3 minutes. But in saying that, I still want everyone to enjoy Tekken. It is still my favorite game series of all time. Don't take this as hate. I don't care whether I win or lose at Tekken. It was never about that. It's about having fun. I just find myself slowly slipping further and further away and kind of guiding myself towards Guilty Gear or Street Fighter these days because it's just funner. I'm gonna be real. Gameplay's creative. It's different. It's brilliant. I don't know how to end this video, so I'm just going to give you the best reenactment I can do of an 80s news broadcaster explaining why a child drowned in a very shallow pool. Alas, the young boy has drowned. After screaming for medical help and aid for hours, the only man left there sitting next to him, Harada, had said, "Don't ask me for shit." 'Twas a poor boy. 'Twas a sad boy. If nothing else is clear, we cannot ask that man for shit. Have a good night, everybody.